My dad wasn't like, oh, you're just gonna sit in my office. I was probably 8 years old when I started doing some of those simple tasks and going to work with him. I worked there during high school just to kind of get the feel of accounting. I got to see somebody who had probably the best work ethic I have ever seen. I have a good work ethic. I owe that 100% to my dad. His motto with everybody, not just me, was the more you know, the more valuable you are. So he, asked me, hey, I want you to learn every facet of the company. So I learned how to purchase, I learned how to forecast and manage inventory. He analyzed all the inventory and the finances, and he generated the purchase orders to the vendors. So I shadowed him for a long time, learning that avenue of the business. I worked in receiving, learning how to check things in, how to label things. I even at that time learned how to do general shipping and things like that. So I feel like I got a real good crash course in business that at the time I didn't realize how much it would benefit. It's also where I met my husband. He worked for my dad from a young age. I have White brothers to thank for pretty much everything in my life. And then after John and I got married, we decided, we wanted to do our own thing. My dad had sold the company and was really encouraging of entrepreneurship and having our own, business. And so Dubya was born from that.
It isn't just John, it isn't just Kristin, the whole team here in our building that makes it happen. You look at the end result. The end result would be like we're all stoked and we all go to Supercross or to a national or to the vet race, Dybya out there, the logos and the wheels and all that. But if we back up a little bit, there's a lot that goes into that. It is 100% a big group that makes this happen. The girls up in accounting, to our wheel production team, our sales manager and his team. For us, it's not an individual thing. Dybya wouldn't be in the position we're in now, where we're growing. We have a good group with us. We're not the only wheel company in town, right? So when someone calls us and wants to talk to us about what we offer, and they make a decision to go with us, they're putting their money on the table and they want a product that's good. We treat the way we do wheels for a guy doing a project bike, his dream build, a bike that he grew up around. We treat it the same way that we do a guy riding Supercross on Saturday night. There's no other choice. Yeah, the risks might be different, but at the end of the day, they're still investing their money and they want something that they want to be proud of, and it's something that's very important to them. And in fact, they're reaching out to us. It's very important to us as well.
My primary role here is vintage restoration, pretty much anything oddball. People send in, random hubs and rims all the time, and they just need spokes and nipples laced and trued. Do rim drills, re-angles, full teardown. If you want your hubs Cerakoted, powder coated, you want your rims polished, we can do chrome. You can get colored nipples, colored spokes on old stuff. Learned a lot, and it's been a lot of trial and error, but we're talking bikes that are older than me, wheels that are older than me. It's really interesting to see the things that come through the front door. It's really satisfying to see that before and after, and I take a lot of pride in that, being a part of it step by step, just taking all the curveballs that they throw at me. It's a team effort for sure. I take full advantage of, my coworkers, their input. Reality is, sometimes it's daunting, get a funky looking hub I've never seen before, rim that I've got to figure out how I'm going to hook it up at offset. Definitely a challenge. At the end of the day, I take a lot of pride in it. I've learned a lot, and yeah, I love the challenge.
I'm one of the handful of people that answer the phones. Definitely think coming from riding and still riding to today helps have that familiarity with the person on the other line on the phone. Having that knowledge and that background definitely goes a long way. You can understand what they're trying to express, what issues they're running into. Definitely helps provide the best service possible and giving the customer the best product available for what they're doing and what their needs are.
I know people who ride, so every time I'm doing a wheel, I'm thinking about that. Every wheel is just as important as the last. Obviously, every wheel has to be up to a specific par. It's not going to be any less than. Every wheel is going to be just as good as the last. I started out doing some lacing and truing. Now I'm doing some customer service, so it's different for sure having to actually deal with the people. It's kind of cool to be able to see different aspects of the company and different aspects of what this job entails. Definitely hard, but worth it. So everyone's going to be able to help you regardless. Just because, you know, someone's in shipping, they still know about how to lace a wheel. So if you have a question, you can literally go to anybody and everybody's going to be able to help you out.
I mean, on a daily basis, just kind of got to make sure nipples are in stock, whether it's, you know, colored stainless, you know, nickel plated, regular aluminum, you know, colored spokes, black, you know, whether a guy wants blue powder coated, white, red, making sure all that stuff's in stock to make the everyday flow kind of keep going is, you know, definitely heavy for sure. The entire team here is definitely knowledgeable about the wheels, and I mean, each bike specifically has different, you know, components and parts that make it come together to make that wheel set, whether it's different length spokes, you know, different gauge nipples, different neck bends, different neck lengths. Like, there's a lot, you know, even getting into the vintage stuff. Everybody here kind of has their own, you know, little niche part of the, you know, process that they do, but everybody's so versatile to the point where they can jump in wherever needed. You know, right now we're working on a lot of guys learning how to do the truing process. The more truers we have, the better. Between test building, shipping, lacing, just overall production process, everybody can kind of fill in the gaps where need be.
Zane, our son, he's 19. He's in the fire academy, but he's also working here. You know, I've had the same thing my dad told him: the more you know, the more valuable you are. So learn how to lace a wheel, learn how to true a wheel, learn how to talk on a sales call and provide really good customer service. Hopefully we're modeling good work ethic and showing them, you know, with hard work, you could succeed and have your own business or develop them to be good employees for someone else.
I mean, it's obviously I'm still learning. There's a lot of stuff that I still have to ask people questions about. I mean, sales is obviously a lot different than actually building the wheel, and building the wheel is obviously a lot different than shipping the wheel. And it kind of gives you an appreciation of what everybody's job is here and how everybody has their own important role. It's cool learning about sales, learning about shipping, learning about truing, learning about lacing, all that. It all plays a big part. You start to find enjoyment. I'm able to help somebody, or when I get off the phone with somebody like, hey, thank you so much, you know, helping me figure out a spoke that I needed or help me place a set of wheels. You start finding enjoyment of just helping other people, which is super cool.
What we sell here is the same exact components and parts that our professional teams use. Really, what guys are using on race day is what you can buy directly from us. It's fully assembled here in Orange County by our Dubya crew. Go above and beyond to make sure everything that leaves those doors is going to function exactly how it was intended to.
I grew up watching Supercross and motocross as a kid, and I love seeing our wheels on the bikes out there. It's really cool to kind of, you know, see those come to fruition. Another thing for me is doing like test builds on stuff that we've never done before, and dang, that came from my brain, you know, and that spoke spec, and you know, now we have it for that specific hub because each hub's different.
I still get a kick out of it today as I did 25 years ago, even before we had Dubya. I'm very proud of it. One of my prouder times is we had wheels on James Stewart's bike, and that picture is in my office. One of those things I look at and just go, wow. Racing's important, but just as important, media relationships with all of them. It could be the podcast, print. Those are all relationships that we have, that we cherish, and we value that, and we appreciate it. I get just as stoked to see some of the freestyle guys, or even a guy that's building an old vintage 87 CR500 or whatever it may be, and he has our wheels on it. I think that's really cool. Tom White, he was my boss at one point. He became not just my boss, my father-in-law, my kid's grandpa, but he was my friend. And that race is something that's very, very important to our family, and certainly to me. It's an event that he started 38 years ago, and we continue to do that, really to honor him. But that one in particular, we go all in, and it might be the Dubya Vet World Championships, but in a lot of ways we like to think of it as Tom White's Vet World Championship. To quite honestly, what makes that event are the folks that travel from all over the world to be a part of it. Because it's one thing to load up their pickup truck or their Sprinter and just drive 25 miles down the road, but there's people that travel thousands of miles to come to that one race. Those are riders that do it for fun. They're not doing it to make a living. They're just doing it for recreation. Maybe it's kind of the release the endorphins, and just they want to go out and have a good time with their friends. But I believe in our industry, it doesn't matter if it's just Dubya, it can be the pipe companies, the graphic companies. Those are customers that spend money to keep this industry going.
First, it starts with with us, having quality components. We have complete faith in our vendors to provide us with the best quality components. And then obviously of equal importance is a staff that we really do believe in, and we do have confidence in that they're going to do their job, they're going to do it correctly, and that customers are going to receive the product that they want, and it's exactly how it should be. Don't try to be a micromanager. I try and just step back and have trust that people are going to do, what they're hired to do, and they do. We have a really good staff that we really rely on and trust implicitly with whatever their specific job function is. I think part of, the industry is it's a passion industry, right? And we're in it because we love it and we love the people that are in it. Try and support whether it's local events. We have our own, annual vet race that my dad started almost 40 years ago. We still have a rider support program. We try and work with, the young kids, the privateers, and those kinds of things, podcasts and things like that, and really just staying connected in the industry and just, letting people know we appreciate their faith in us and their support of our business, because we are just a family business, but we do want to continue to give back. Kind of goes back to honoring my dad. He retired, he still did Bikes and Burgers events, which John and I still do at the Early Years of Motocross Museum to support brain injuries and other things. We held a Motocross of Nations event there. For us, it's important to, continue to give back in any way that we can and stay supportive of the industry that's really given us so much.
We're growing. We've been around coming up on 12 years. I think it just comes down to respect and trust. You say you're going to do something, you say you're going to come through, you do it. We like to think that we do a good job, sell them a good product they're happy with, but it doesn't just stop there. Just because you sell them something, that's not the end of it. They might need some spokes, some nipples, some bearings, some seals. And so it's important to keep good relations even within our industry. Customer first and foremost. Doesn't matter what you sell, the customer is what kind of keeps you in business. The people that are really out there riding the motorcycles, weekend warriors, they're as important to us as a customer as, Jeremy McGrath, and we've never forgotten that. And I think that's also something that Tom used to teach us, Sometimes, we get caught up in what we do every day and it's all about building the business, but there's a lot of stress that comes with that. What going out and ride your dirt bike will do for you, really had fun, and this is why we do this.
It's the conversion of function and fashion. You want the thing to look good, the customer wants it to look good. They're putting their trust in our hands and we want to do them right. It's got to be dialed.
It's cool to know that everybody knows this place and it's for good reason.
That's the prize. I feel like going to Supercross, go with my dad, seeing your hard work pay off. But you don't really have an idea until you can actually step out and see all of it and you're like, wow, it really does pay off. So it's cool seeing that type of stuff.
That's the most rewarding part about this job, is being able to provide somebody, something that they're extremely, happy about. And this is a hobby for a lot of people, So them investing in a good set of wheels, or, coming to us to help them with, like I said, a simple spoke, or making sure their wheel is straight and true again and they leave happy, is the most rewarding feeling.
I think that's something that John and I are really proud of, is that, most everyone here is either an enthusiast because they realize it's a small family company, and we are like family. We spend more time here than we do sometimes with our own, families. It's hopefully a way I can honor my dad's legacy. I don't think I would have anything without his role model of, working hard and, developing a passion into a business. I think that I'm really fortunate that I had that, and I totally recognize that and appreciate it, and I'm confident he's still watching us and saying, you're doing a good job. It's really, the goal is to, kind of continue to have success, but also to honor him.